Hello and welcome to the Commute. My name is Garrett and I'm the host, so to speak, for this little web series that I'm going to be starting here. I'm going to call it the Commute because most of my videos will probably be shot from behind the wheel, so you'll just have to bear with me as brake lights reflect in my face and other things like that. But this is my best way to reach you. It's the only time of day when I really have time and a quiet space to record. So yeah, it's you, me, and my car. I hope you're having a great day. Been having a great day myself. I hope everybody is looking forward to the new year that's about to hit here soon. I hope everybody's got some resolutions they plan on following through on, or some plans for the next year, or just some reflections as to, how are you going to do better next year. So the first thing I guess I was going to talk about today is, getting started in investing. What should you do if you don't know what to do? For reference, I started investing back during COVID, right around the time when we all got our stimulus checks. I used my stimulus to invest instead of spending, and that's how I started. Over the years, I have since contributed some income to, various different investments and had a lot of financial woes in the time. So, a lot of that money that I've made with gains, I've since pulled out of the market. And that was a mistake, because if I had left all of those dollars in the market, they would be worth significantly more today. So that's kind of what I want to talk about today, is getting started on your investment journey and sticking to it, sticking to your plan, making a plan and sticking to it, not letting fear get a hold of you, not letting uncertainty get a hold of you, not making emotional decisions when it comes to investing your money. Because at the end of the day, if you don't pull your emotions out of the money that you're investing with, if you don't separate your emotional self from your logical self, you're not going to be successful. And I don't mean that in a way as like, you can't be emotional at all. No. What I mean is if you see numbers going up on the screen, that makes you get excited. That makes you want to sell, makes you want to take your money, right? You see numbers going down, it also makes you want to sell because you don't want to lose more money, right? The key here is to know that markets go up and they go down, but generally over time, they tend to go upwards and to the right. Yes, there's stock market crashes, there's market crashes, but what inevitably happens after every crash? It goes back up. So if you can buy while we're in the crash, if you can put yourself into a good enough position to where you have liquid funds during the crash, you can make yourself a lot of money. That's a very good opportunity. Now, that's what some people would call timing the market. I wouldn't necessarily say that's timing the market, but that's more just taking all the information that's around you and making an educated decision on when a good time to buy may or may not be, right? Obviously, you're never going to time anything perfect. You're never going to buy at the bottom. You're never going to sell at the top. And as time goes on, you'll learn. I've learned. Like I said, it's been 4 years since I've started this whole thing, almost 5 years, because COVID was back in 2019, late 2019. That's right around the time I started. So, I'm 24 now. I have about 5 years of investing experience, about a year of crypto experience. I only recently started getting into crypto. I was really more into stocks before that, before some of the people in my life turned me on to crypto, which we'll get to that. I do believe in it. I believe in the utility of crypto. I'm not big on meme coins, but I do recognize that there is money to be made if you invest. But that's really more of a gamble than it is anything else, right? When you're investing in a meme coin, you're not investing in anything that has utility. So anyway, with that out of the way, starting your investment, right? How do you get started? How do you get on? How do you buy crypto? How do you buy stocks? How do you put your money into an investment vehicle so it can then work for you? The first and most basic thing that people think about is an interest-bearing savings account or a money market account. An account that you deposit funds into and it produces a return of anywhere from 2.5% to 8% over the annual stretch. If interest rates are high, it might be a little higher. If interest rates are lower, then your interest paid will be a little bit lower. That's a good way to start, but you're not going to see huge growth. You're going to see consistent growth, sure, but you're not going to see face-melting, life-changing wealth. An interest-bearing account is really more for the people that already have capital. You have a lot of money to put in, or it's just for an emergency fund. It's your extra money that you have, but you don't want your money to be dead money, right? What they call is dead money that's not producing you any interest, so it's losing buying power as it's sitting in the account. We don't want any of that. That's bad, right? Obviously, you need to pay bills, right? You need to leave some money in your checking account, some dead money in your checking account to pay bills and pay for your other expenses. Everybody's got to eat. Your car needs gas. You need shoes on your feet. You need underwear and socks and all those good things, that we have to spend our dollars on. Yeah, so the money market account, like I said, great way to have some liquid funds in reserve that are not losing purchasing power. Just know that you're not going to see huge growth until you get, to 100, 200, a million, 100,000 to 200,000 to $1 million, 4%, because right now I think the highest interest yield you can get on a savings account is about 4.5%. That's about the highest I've seen. It ranges anywhere from like 2.5% to 4%, depending on who you bank with and who you choose to deposit your money with. The second one is money market accounts, which are a little bit different than high yield savings. A money market account is an account like, if you're familiar with Acorns, that's kind of what Acorns does, or credit unions often have money market accounts. Banks do too, usually offer them. Money market account is an account that you deposit money into, and that money gets invested into, ETFs and index funds and those kinds of things. So like the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ or whatever the investment vehicle that your advisor or robo-advisor has chosen to, put your funds into. They usually diversify it across 5 or 6 different ETFs and then spread your dollar amount by a certain percentage over the different investment vehicles. So, you say you put in $5, it might take 50% and put that in the S&P 500. So it's going to put $250 in the S&P 500. Then it might take 10% and put that in, so 50 cents, and put that in like small company stocks or bonds or whatever it is. Usually they're a combination of stocks and bonds depending on risk tolerance and all that, which we'll get into risk tolerance, which, if you're watching my channel, you either have some investment advice or have some investment knowledge, or you're looking to gain some more knowledge or just looking for a new perspective, whatever it may be. I just know I'm only 24. I'm relatively inexperienced. I got started early, and these are just some of the things that I've learned over the years that I'm hoping to make it a little bit more digestible for you to consume. So at the end of the day, you have a better understanding of what these things are and how they affect your money and how they, help you grow your wealth. So, you've got your high yield savings accounts, you've got your money market accounts, and all other kind of things that go in there. You have IRAs and 401ks, retirement accounts that are invested the same way. They're put in the stock market or they're put into bonds or exchange trade funds, which is just combinations of different stocks, those kinds of things. That's a great way to get started. There's all kinds of exchanges. There's all kinds of apps, robo-advisors, financial advisors. I would urge you to err on the side of self-sufficiency. No normal person should need a financial advisor. You should become your own financial advisor. So really get a hold on your finances. Where's your money going? What are you doing with it? Don't leave this up to another person until once you get to a point where you're so wealthy and you're really just buying your time back. That's a little bit different. But when we're talking about on the level that I'm at, that we're at, that presumably you might be at, when you're at that low level and you're investing lower dollar amounts, I guess I want to talk about exchanges and how do you get started, right? Like I said, there's lots of apps, financial advice. Become your own financial advisor. You want to become your own financial advisor. You want to be self-sufficient with your finances. So, when you're at that, like I was saying, when you're at that low level of investing, right, and you're investing small dollar amounts, the financial advisor really isn't necessary. I mean, they're going to charge you a bunch of fees. They're going to take, 1% to 3% of whatever your gains are, And really, at the end of the day, most financial advisors just take your money and put it in the S&P 500, right? Because that's a pretty stable investment, considered to be a pretty stable investment. So, be your own financial advisor. Be self-sufficient. Be the person who knows where your money is going and knows how you're investing it and knows how it's working for you. So obviously, you're going to want to do your own research, which if you're watching this video, you are, right? You're doing your own research. You're out on YouTube searching up financial stuff, or you're on Google reading articles and stuff, trying to, gain more financial knowledge, whatever the case may be. Or maybe this video just stumbled into your feed through the algorithm somehow. Whatever the case may be. Nick, we've got some sirens. There's an incident on the highway here. I'm sure you can see all kinds of lights flashing. I started with Acorns. That's how I started. I started by putting $5 a week in. Every week I put $5 into an investment account on there, which is essentially a money market account that invests into a spread of different ETFs. Depending on the subscription level you have with them, you can pick individual stocks or ETFs to add to your portfolio on top of them matching. I believe the silver subscription is 1% match to your IRA contributions, and if you opt for the gold membership, it's 3%. The gold membership's $12 a month, so you're looking at $140 a year roughly. So if that 3% will outrun that, you've essentially paid for your fees in IRA matches. And usually the IRA match does outpace whatever the subscription cost is. So bear that in mind. I like Acorns because it's easy, it's accessible. You just download it on your phone, you sign up, and you just start putting money in. You can set up a recurring investment plan that pulls the same amount of money from your account every week or month, or however you want to do it, however basis you want to do it. I believe they have daily, weekly, and monthly setups for those. And then it auto invests for you and it auto diversifies for you. I've seen pretty consistent gains of about, I keep my portfolio on moderately aggressive to aggressive, so really more towards stocks and less towards bonds. And I've seen a pretty consistent return over the past 3 years of about 7 to 10%, depending on the year. I believe year to date, right now, I am up 8% on that portfolio. So I have made 8% in profit over the last year just by investing money into that. A little bit into the IRA, a little bit into the money market account, just enough, to the point where it's not even noticeable. I've since kicked up my recurring investment, but it's not as noticeable on the week to week, and you're putting something in every week. You're contributing every week. That's the important part. You want to keep contributing no matter what. If you can afford to put money in, then keep putting money in. Just never put anything more in than you can afford to lose. But these kinds of accounts are generally considered a safer investment. Now, they won't have as high, you're not going to see the times 10 gains like you will with crypto, but you start, after your first couple of years, you get a couple grand in there and it really starts to take off. It really starts to snowball because a 20 or 10% gain on $2,000 is $200, over a year. That's a pretty good gain, but think about if that was $20,000, right? That $20,000 is now producing you a couple grand over the year, right? So you're not losing purchasing power. You're actually, at that point, you might start to even outpace inflation. So your purchasing power for the dollars in your account actually might even go up, depending on how much you have in there and what the percentage is and how the market's doing. Now, yes, there's crashes, things go up, things go down. That happens. It's normal. The trick is there really is no trick, but the trick, so to speak, is to just ride it out. Ride out the highs and the lows. Think long term, right? Wealth building is a long-term thing. It takes years and years and years. You can't just start investing and then be a multimillionaire in a year. That's not how it works. The trick is staying disciplined and staying consistent with your investments and staying committed to yourself and investing in things that you believe in, right? So if you don't like the idea of it being handled for you and you want to pick your own stocks, There's all kinds of other apps. You have, I'm sure a lot of people talk about Robinhood. Robinhood's quite popular. Never personally used it myself, but I know a lot of people who do, and they've had pretty good success. I've heard Webull is pretty good, and I know they pay interest on your brokerage cash. So any cash sitting in that brokerage account, you get a little bit back just for it sitting there. And that's not even invested money, right? So that's a no risk return, right? If money's not invested, it's not at risk, right? An interest-bearing savings account is basically no risk, right? You're guaranteed to get a return. Maybe not a very high return, but a return nonetheless. Yeah, you got Webull, Robinhood, Acorns. There's also another exchange that I like to use called Public. Public basically leaves the keys in your hand. It's completely free. They do have a paid version that you can use. And I cannot stress enough, none of this stuff is endorsed. These are just the services that I have chosen to use. You may like or dislike these. You may like something better than what I use. That's fine. Use whatever exchange you want. I'm just giving some examples of things you can do to get started. Public is great because, like I said, it's free. The fees aren't too bad. There is a paid version that costs like $12 a month that completely eliminates all the fees and everything. They've got high yield savings, they've got bond accounts, they've got stocks, they've got all kinds of different things. There's even a way to buy crypto on public.com. Although if you're going to buy crypto, I personally use Coinbase. I'd recommend using Coinbase, or I think Binance is the other US-based exchange. I think Kraken is also US-based. So if you're in the US, I would urge you to use a US-based exchange, to kind of just, stay in country. If you want to use an Asian exchange, that's fine. Just know that, they're not as heavily regulated and all of that good stuff that comes with being an American. So, which, depending on how you view it, may or may not be a good thing. But, that information's there. Do with it what you will. Really just, I guess that's all there is to it. I've been talking at you for a while. There's going to be a lot of footage cut out of this just because I had to take a lot of pauses to kind of gather my thoughts. I am probably going to start writing scripts for these videos just to get a little bit better. If you made it to the end, thank you for watching. I do apologize for the video quality. Hopefully the audio comes through fine. I don't know if you can see, but I'm stuck in traffic right now, so my attention's been kind of diverted onto the road a little bit. But yeah, if you have any comments, questions, whatever, post them down in the comment section. I'm going to leave it open, and I'm going to try to reply to all my viewers. Obviously, I don't, as I'm building a following, if that following for some reason gets huge, then I might not be able to respond to everybody. But as it stands right now, if you're watching the channel and you have a genuine question, feel free to post it in the comment, and I'll see what I can do to get back to you. So, yeah, anyway, thank you for watching. This has been The Commute with Garrett. Channel name is going to be Wheels and Wealth. That's a working title. So, yeah, thank you for watching. Have a good one.